Dreams is where the action is. Imagine having a blueprint for life where you never had to guess or wander aimlessly in life. Imagine having a cheat sheet that gives you access to the answers your soul desperately needs to know for life's situations, financial crisis, relationship challenges, parental problems. Imagine that at your fingertips, you have access to this information. What if I told you that you have the ability to access spiritual guidance right now through your dreams? God showed me who I was and the type of life I was going to live at the tender age of 12 using my dreams. These dreams outlined clearly for me the emotional challenges I would face and the powerful healing I would experience. At the time of the dreams, I didn't understand. However, through the years, as a result of my intimate relationship with God and my dreams, the theme was evident in my life. I can recall the dreams just like they were yesterday. I'm home alone in my childhood home, and I hear a rustling at the door. And in come men that I don't know, men with big guns and strong and tall men. And I'm a child home alone. And the men, they're looking for something to take. And then they spot me standing over in the corner. And without question, they begin to shoot and fire their weapons at me, an innocent child who is weaponless, no way to defend herself, no way to hurt or harm these men, but they began firing off rounds and rounds of bullets to kill me. I feel the pain, I feel the bullets entering my body, and I look at them confused, asking, why are you shooting me, this helpless little girl? And I realize that they're not going to stop shooting their guns. And so I fall to the ground, to the floor, and I begin to ball up in a circle. And then my body goes lifeless. I lay there and I listen to them as they ravage my home, looking for something that they never found. I pretend to be dead, because of course I don't want them to shoot me anymore, and I can feel the pain of the bullets entering my body, and I see the blood on my hands. And then the men leave. And then I touch my wounds and I get up and I realize I'm not dead. But I'm in a lot of pain, and there's no one there to save me. There's no one there to protect me. There's no one there. I'm all alone. Now that was the first recurring dream that I consistently had in my youth. Another dream was I'm in my childhood home and I'm walking to the front door and I hear something coming from the side of me, and I turn to look and I realize that there are baby snakes in the house. I'm ravaged with fear to the point where I don't try to exit the house in the way that I was attempting to exit. I run back to the back of the house, afraid, knowing that these snakes, that they can crawl, they can slither, and they can reach me. And still again, I'm alone. This particular recurring dream happened all the way up until my 40s. And each year that I had this dream, and I talk about this particular recurring dream in my ebook, Dreams Speak, a guide to getting the most out of your dreams. And in the chapter that I talk about recurring dreams, I share with readers how through the years, the snakes, they kept growing and getting bigger and changing colors and becoming more stronger. However, I noted that as the snakes grew stronger, so did my response to the snakes. The snakes represented my fears in life. I remember one particular dream after my grandson was born that I was sitting in the house and I heard this noise in the backyard, and I see a big anaconda-sized yellow snake. And I knew that my grandson was outside, and I thought to myself, I have to go save him. And instantly, when I got up, the snake had coiled, wrapped itself around my grandson, and began to apply pressure. And I fought this snake with all my might to loosen its grip on my grandson. In this dream, my grandson represented all the things that mattered to me and all the things that were occurring in my life. My marriage breaking down, my health breaking down. At this point, I had undiagnosed stage 3 colon cancer, and I was fighting for my life. And I noticed that through the years, like I said, the snakes grew in size, and so did my response to the snakes. Whereas before, when I first started having these dreams, I would run in fear away from the snakes. But each year, each time I dreamt this, there was some courage that was displayed on my end, showing that, yes, I'm afraid, but I have to fight. I remember one time I dreamt that a snake had broken my kitchen window. They were outside my house, and I was really afraid. And the snake, anaconda size again, broke the kitchen window. And I remember grabbing a knife and just stabbing that snake as many times as I could in the head. It was showing me that I was waking up. The fighter in me was waking up, and that I was no longer going to allow my fears, allow outward interpretation of things that seem bigger and intimidating. I was not going to let them steal my voice. I was not going to let them rob me of my chance, my fight. So I take it back to my original question. Imagine having a cheat sheet and knowing how to maneuver in life through your dreams.